peculiar to Nigeria, this issue of definitional problem. Even the United Nations, when it was working on the Convention Against Corruption, had that problem of what is the definition of corruption. The bottom line is that corruption involves dishonest conduct.
Nigeria, my country, presently, is fantastically corrupt.
Go to Kirikiri prison, you will see not less than 2 senior lawyers, and I mean senior lawyers because they are over 10 years post-court in the prison, serving jail terms, respect of tampering with money belonging to their client. That is corruption.
A student or a teacher in a university who wants a student to come and pay him money before he passes his examination, it is corruption.
How do we explain a manager, somebody has talked about a level 6 officer driving jeeps and all manner of cars? How do you explain the MD of a bank that lives in Panama Island in his personal residence, living in a 400 million naira property?
Corruption is not just about someone stealing money from an account. That when you, as a father, encourages your children or your family member to do what ordinarily they should not do.
A public official who dips his hands into the treasury and takes money that does not belong to him.
Corruption is not localized. It's not limited to the public sector like Mr. Ogbara said. He spoke about those in the private sector too.
If individuals are richer than their country, someone who was an employee of this country and that person was earning salary from Nigeria eventually becomes more richer. It becomes far, far richer than that country.
Greed and avarice. Of course, it's part of the problem that people have when you are not satisfied with what you have. You want to live big or bigger than your means of livelihood, your legitimate earning. Then secondly, we have poverty.
Imagine when judgment is given in a case and there was manifest injustice. Not only that, the court refused to release the case file for us to appeal.
It's the application of corruption. Corruption remains intertwined with politics. And as noted, there are brazen attacks on those fighting corruption.
Leadership has failed us very badly, and followership has become trivialized, commoditized, contaminated, and corrupt.
Judicial corruption is not outside us. But we are mostly guilty as lawyers. We are the countries to the judges. They are our friends. They are our spouses. They are our colleagues. We are the ones who are mostly responsible. And for every judge that is dismissed or retired for corruption, what about the council who encouraged the corruption, who facilitated it?
The moment we start, manufacturing defense for our clients, it becomes a misconduct.
Corruption clandestinely erodes the sound foundation of civil society. It derails decision making and policy making, thereby impeding social and economic development. In this sense, corruption is the most serious obstacle to democracy. Sustainable development.
Teachers, ordinary nurses, and school students stood up, marched up to the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Work and Public Sector, and announced to the minister that the road that was commissioned on air is in their community and they are visiting the tractor there.
It doesn't allow us to remember our common humanity. We don't remember our common humanity because we want to be greater than the other.
Financial Times of London listed 20 Nigerians and their what? General Babangida, as of 1999, he had an account in London, £6.25 billion. In Swiss, $7.416 million. In USA, $2.2 billion. In Germany, $9 billion. if you put everything together as at then, comes to 2.463 trillion naira. That was 1999. Listed here, Abubakar, we have Jerry Husseini, we have Gowon, we have people, we have Paul Oguma, Sani Abacha, of course, Mohamed Abacha, Abu Abacha, Wadan Nas. All these people, Don Etebet, Mustafa, Dairo Daratu, Uchichi, Adamu, Danjuma, and Isha Bamali. Their total worth as at 1999 was over 100 trillion naira.
Not allow corruption to exist in the judicial arm of government, even if it is existing elsewhere, because that is the last hope of the common man.
It must go from family to school, and from the school to work environment, from work environment anti-corruption agencies. These institutions must be strengthened and must be properly monitored.
For the oath of office, the Constitution. Once we respect that, I don't think they will have a problem.
Recommend the establishment of National Criminal Data Bank.
We need to encourage every state government to set up an anti-corruption institution that will be performing that role that is being performed at the national level, at the state level.
Utilize our processes to kind of reduce contact with public officials. So until we reduce the contact with these people, you eliminate this middleman that gives you occasion to pay bribe for one process, for one file. Digitalize the process. They were talking about fighting corruption.
We are drawing funds from the international organization to correct the wrongs at home. Those funds are dried up. If we don't make efforts to get our own Nigeria endowments, sooner or later, the voices will be cracking.
INEC should have structural, institutional, and financial autonomy.
I have referred to what Professor Chinua Achebe said in his book, The Trouble with Nigeria. Chapter 8 of that book was dedicated to corruption, and he said, my frank and honest opinion is that anybody who can say that corruption in this country has not yet become alarming is either a fool, a group, or else does not live in this country.